you don't play word chess that way unless you're trying to avoid something,
Mm-hmm.
right? If someone asks you a question that's a yes or no question, you don't use a different word unless you're not answering the question.
Yeah. 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 And this happens. So I gave a speech today about John 3:16 and going back to the original Greek and interpreting it. And man, it's just fraught with errors. But boy, oh boy, you have to very carefully design. You have to very carefully design your questions. And it is so easy because there's another word that's very similar to the one of the words that has a very different meaning. And so it's so important to be so precise when you're defining these things.
Wow. So you're talking about the commonly accepted English version of the Bible is wrong?
Boy, oh boy. I don't want to use the word wrong.
Okay.
Right. At first, until I started to dig deeper, I'm like, yes, it's wrong, right? Because I tend to go to black and white thinking. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's right or it's wrong, one of the two. And so what I'm talking about, using the word so, is it says, for God so loved the world. And so invariably today, if you ask what that means, it's like, oh, that means how much? It's quantity.
So
And if you go
much.
back and read the original Greek, it's not referring to quantity. It's a better translation. I don't use the proper, I use a better translation would be, this is how God loved the world. And, but here's the fascinating thing. So this is more of a linguistics problem, our challenge, Chris, is that so this is the King James version, which was translated several hundred years ago, and it's some people's favorite version, right? Because it's very
Mm-hmm.
poetic and it's smooth and it's a beautiful translation. But so that word "so" used to mean this is how things got done. But as language changed, we've sort of redefined the term "so" meaning quantity in this case, and so these little tiny differences can really create discrepancies in what people think about things. That's why I think as a general you got to be very careful and very precise and to define the language before you start.
So you're saying the word
So,
so
so
that you're saying the word so in old English when it was translated meant something different, or you're actually going back to the original word actually meant something potentially something
no, no,
else.
not the original word. So, yeah, so tended to think and I wish I had a better